kruit. En nou terug naar de onderskeihoeke voor die kloklei van ronde nummer 1. En Gerrie Coetzee is het tegenstander, die 33-jarige Scott Ledoux van die Verenigde Staten van Amerika. Die man wat homself die vechtende Fransman noemt. Hij heeft een gewichtsvoordeel, 103,7 kilogram teenoor Gerrie Coetzee se 98,8 kilogram. Je kan zien dat hij baie groot in die boellyf is. Dat is die kerel wat nou verste van die camera af is met die krullenbol. En dit zal baie interessant wees om te zien hoe Gerrie Coetzee tegen hierdie baie ervaren man wat al tegen 6 wereldkampioene gebokst het vanavond gaan varen. Maar bij mij is Andries Stein en zo vroeg in die gevecht wat mondelijk 10 rondes kan duur. Andries, hoe lijkt Gerrie voor jou? Wat zal jij voorspellen als jij zo vroeg een voorspelling moet wagen?
Ja, het is moeilijk om zo vroeg een voorspelling te wagen, maar Gerrie zal moeten oppassen voor hierdie man, want dat lijkt voor mij, hij slaan geweldig hard met albei handen. Alhoewel hij niet gebruik maakt van een baie goede bokstechniek niet, is hij nog baie effectief.
Ik denk dat wij geen twijfel dat die meeste mensen Coetzee oorwinning verwacht niet. Maar ik denk die ervaring van Ledoux kan net voor Gerrie Coetzee baie goed doen. Vooral als hij weer een kans krijgt om tegen Mike Weaver te bekleien. Gerrie Coetzee kijkt zijn tegenstander deurentijd stap in die ogen. Terwijl het doel een beetje meer kop onderste box. Daar was rapsie minder dan 1 minuut in de eerste ronde oor. En als die gevecht die volle aantal rondes duurt, zal het 30 minuten zijn bokstijd wees, want het is oor 10 rondes geskeduleerd. Het was een van die goede, mooi skoningen van Gerrie Coetzee. En met hierdie Sarsi zal hij minstens toezien dat hij die eerste ronde met punten in zijn guns gaan beklinken. Of hoe zei je, Andries?
Ja, relatief op hierdie stadium met Gerrie baie meer skoonhouwe gepland as Ledoux. Ledoux in hierdie stadium doen baie min en sy tydsberekening is baie swak.
Einde van de eerste ronde is in zich, nog enkele secondes. En Ledoux schudt zijn kop, waarschijnlijk om aan te duiden, nee wat kerel, dat heeft niet zeer gemaakt niet. Maar wat die puntentelling betreft, kan daar geen twijfel wees dat ronde nummer 1 aan Gerrie Coetzee behoort niet. De helpers daar in die hoek van Scott Ledoux is zijn africhter Don Manuel en bestuurder Joe Daskiewicz.
Ik zou net graag wil zien dat Gerrie meer gebruik maakt van daar die reguit linker van hom. Hij heeft een baie goede reguit linker en ons hoop hij gebruikt het meer in die ronde.
Dat is de tweede ronde en Gerrie Coetzee wat met zo'n drafstapje uit zijn hoek uitkomt. Hij kan baie tevreden voelen met de eerste ronde wat hij tegen Scott Ledoux gebokst heeft. Scott Ledoux is een man wat een gelijk op uitslag tegen Leon Spinks op zijn kerfstok heeft. En al die jaren wat hij bokst nog nooit uitgetel is niet. Hij heeft wel met technische uitklop verloren, onder andere tegen George Foreman en Larry Holmes. Maar hij heeft nog nooit die 10-telling op die kruidvloer aangehoord. Ik moet zeggen, Andries, Gerrie lijkt mij bijzonder goed. Zijn gewicht was trouwens ook voor mij verrassing. Ik denk die meeste mensen het gedacht dat hij tegen oor 100 kilogram vanavond in die kruid zou klimmen.
Ja, als een mens kijkt naar Gerrie zijn lijf, kan je zien dat hij het baie steviger geworden in die boorlijf. Dat is niet meer zo zacht zoals waar het was van tevoren niet. Hij heeft meer spieren aangezet. En hij lijkt ook voor mij baie meer fikser vanavond. En ek sal sê Gerrie moet sy kans mooi afwag en die reg en linker gebruik om die man op te maak. Want Scott Ledoux is baie wild, soos jy daar kan sien. Hy duik onderin en dit is die dinge waarvoor Gerrie moet oppas. Want dit kan 'n kopstampery veroorsaak en dit kan hom 'n redelike sny toedien.
Ons is by die halfpadmerk van ronde nummer 2. Weer wille swaai hou van Scott Ledoux, maar Gerrie Coetzee kon het nie gou genoeg opvolg nie. Daar is 1 minuut oor en die man wat so om hulle beweeg, baie mooi kyk is meneer Stan Christodoulou, wat uit die aard van die saak geen bekendstelling in enige bokskringe meer nodig het nie. Scott Ledoux, so word vertel, is 'n baie vermoënde of baie duideliker gestel, 'n baie ryk kerel wat eintlik vir die liefde van die saak nog boks. Pas 'n ernstige vermaning daar van meneer Christodoulou ontvang dat daar die kop nie ingespan moet word as aanvalsmiddel nie. Terwyl ons wag vir die klok, Andries, hoe lyk ronde nommer 2 vir jou?
Dit is ook Gerrie se ronde sover. Scott Ledoux doen baie min op hierdie stadium. Gerrie sal net oppas vir hom as hy daar aan die binnengeweg te gaan, want hierdie man lyk vir my baie gevaarlik met die kop.
Dis die breë skouers, besonder breë skouers van Scott Ledoux. Die vechtende Fransman, soos hy homself noem.
Seconds out. Round number 3.
Gerrie Coetzee aan die begin van die derde ronde weer baie haastig daar in die middel van die kruit. En onmiddellik span hy daar die regter baie goed in. Twee redelike skoonhoue gewees. Terwyl ons eintlik wag, soos Andries net ook gesê het, vir die linker van Gerrie Coetzee. Nou word die pap dik aangemaak. Ek sien wat hy verder probeer om daar die beskermende handskoene van Ledoux uit die pad uit te motor.
Gerrie Coetzee maak gewoonlik die fout as sy man teen die touw vastkeer, dan wil hy die hande wegdruk. Plaas hom dan in die lyf te werk, dat die man sy hande sak en dan weer terug te werk na die kop toe. Maar Scott Ledoux natuurlijk baie taai. Gerrie moet net nie in een van daardie regters van hom vastloop nie. Hier moet die Gerrie nou gebruik maak van die kans om die linker in te lê, want hy wag 'n bietjie te lank.
Ja, ons het gepraat van haar die moontlikheid van kopstampe. Iets wat lyk vir my deesdae al hoe meer algemeen in die bokskuit voorkom. Maar nou ja, ons bepaal ons eers by die geveg. Ons sal nie nou bespreking daaroor in die gang sit nie. Daar was die linker wat goed opgevolg is met 'n regter. En al wil Scott Ledoux aandui met die kopskit dat hy nie seer gekry het nie. En het seer gemaakt, dit lyk geen twyfel nie. Daar is weer 'n regter. Die skade, die moedig vir Gerrie aan. En Ledoux minstens lig weg in die moeilikheid. 1 minuut se bokstyd oor. Dis ronde nommer 3 en dis Gerrie Coetzee se ronde. Van Scott Ledoux, perfecte thuisberekening. En dus die ou wat die seerste gemaakt het in die hele ganse geveg. Tot dusver weer die laaste paar secondes. En terwyl ons weer wacht vir die klok, Andries, hoe lyk sake nou vir jou?
Baie goeie rondom deur Gerrie Coetzee. Hy het natuurlijk vir die skot Ledoux met geweldig houer getref en Ledoux is so 'n bietjie verdwaas. Maar Gerrie mors nou te veel tyd. Hy moet daar inklim en kyk of hy die man kan uitslaan of tot oorgawe dwing.
Check it out. Round number 4.
Dis die 4de ronde wat nou begin. Gerrie het minstens 2 van die 3 dusver baie sterk en deeglik agter sy naam geskryf. En as jy mooi kyk, gaan jy sien dat daar 'n bietjie skade aan Ledoux se neus is. Ek dink wanneer hy weer onbeweeg, ek kon nog self nie presies sien wat daar aan gaan nie, maar ek dink daar die neus van hom het seer gekry. Ja, die bloed stroom met daai neus uit. Dit lyk vir my hy's in die hoek van die oog, net onder die oog, op die boonste brug van die neus is daar 'n snymerk. Sien jy dit ook so, Andries?
Ja, daar is so effens 'n bloederigheid aan die neus en dan sien ek daar so 'n blou kol aan bokant sy linker oog ook. Maar natuurlik hierdie handskoene wat die man mee beklei, weet die mense nie of hulle die blou afgee nie. Maar laat die handskoene gewis hard slaan is nie te betwyfel nie.
Ek dink die groot verskil in hierdie geveg is die beweeglikheid van Gerrie Coetzee. En daar is so 'n ligte stoeiery aan die gang. Ledoux wat neergevel word. En in die proses het hy ook 'n oogbank wat opgekloof is en nou is dit nie 'n mooi gesig om te aanskou nie. Die linkeroog bloei vrylik. Gerrie Coetzee wat baie oordeelkundig boks. Net eenvoudig van haar die hou wegry. Het as ware met minagting behandel. Meneer Christodoulou kyk in die snymerk en sê nee, hulle kan voortgaan. En ek dink die groot toets vir Gerrie Coetzee is om te kyk of hy hom redelik gou kan uitslaan. Want daar is al dikwels gesê dat hy nie daar die afronding het nie en op die ou end nie die man kan neervel nie. Hier het hy 'n groot kaland om mee af te reken. 'n Ervare man, maar dit is Coetzee wat die geveg dikteer. Minder as 'n minuut se bokstyd oor. Dis ronde nommer 4. En daar die oog lyk lelik.
Gerrie lyk beslis beter retief, maar ek sal sê dat hy mors nog te veel tyd.
Dr. Labeskagni wat nader geroep word om daar die oog te inspekteer. Dit sal jammer wees as die geveg as gevolg daarvan beëindig moet word. Maar nee, hulle sê hy kan voortgaan. En dit is een van die bloederigste gesigte wat ons in 'n lang tyd in die bokskruit gesien het. Die sekondes loop uit. Ronde nommer 4 is so byna iets van die verlede. En dit was 'n goeie regter van Ledoux. Een van sy min skone oë wat hy geplant het. Maar hy moet waarskynlik 'n bietjie probleme hê met sy sig. Die klok gaan nou lui. En ek dink die man wat die klok moet lui het van hom vergeet. Ons is heel wat by die 3 minute merk verby, dan onthou hy dit. En so eindig ronde nommer 4.
Take a shot. Round number 5.
Dis die 5de ronde. En Ledoux se gesig lyk redelik skoon nou na die baie bloed van die vorige ronde, maar dit sal maar net enkele sekondes duur. Sodra Gerrie Coetzee gaan tref, gaan daar die bloed weer vrylik vloei. Ledoux, 'n kerel met baie geld, ook gesteld op sy status. Hy het met 'n hele kontingent van helpers en raadgewers hier aangekom. Bly in die beste hotel beskikbaar, in die beste suite. Maar ek dink op die oomblik verlang hy dalk na een van daardie sagte beddens in daardie prachtsuite. was nog oor genoeg krag in hierdie Amerikaner se vuiste. Dat kan 'n mens duidelik sien. En ek moet sê die helpers van Ledoux het wondere verrig met daardie gesig van hom. Wat veel beter lyk as aan die einde van die vorige ronde. Goeie kombinasie gewees van Gerrie, maar dan lê hy weer op sy man. Dink jy nie Gerrie moet vinniger terugtree wanneer dit gebeur nie, Andries?
Dit is nog altyd die probleem met Gerrie Coetzee. As hy sy man in die moeilikheid het teen die toue, staan hy nie terug nie. Hy bly daarso en hy gee pad nie weg nie. Met ander woorde, hy kan nie die enige hou verwissel nie. En die ander man staan ook net stil en hou hom vas. Scott Ledoux natuurlijk is natuurlijk nie meer die bokser wat hy was nie. Ek dink die laaste paar gevegte wat hy gehad het so 'n bietjie van sy fit uit hom uitgehaal.
Ja, hy het so onlangs, soos Desember nog in die Bahamas, liderlik verloor teen Gerrie Coetzee. En dis miskien ook 'n geveg waarin hy as gevolg van die straf wat hy verduur het, miskien so 'n bietjie van sy vaardigheid ingeboet het. Of, nou ja goed, dan miskien sy fiksheid. Daar is nog net 'n half minuut se boksheid in hierdie ronde oor. Een van die stiller rondes, nadat ons in rondes nommer 3 en 4 baie vuurwerk gesien het. En daar het Gerrie teen die linkerwang 'n goeie regter ontvang. Maar niks power ontstel te wees nie, miskien meer ontstel deur een wat hy pas ontvang het. En dan nog ook so derde, so 'n kaphoutjie.
Dit is ook nog 'n goeie ronde vir Gerrie. Scott Ledoux natuurlik lyk vir my of hy so 'n bietjie aan die moeg kan raak. Gerrie lyk nog fiks.
Second down. Round number 6.
Die 6de ronde. Die laaste klompie raad daar in die hoek van die Amerikaner Scott Ledoux. En glo my vry, raad het hy nodig, want op ons stelkaart het hy nie 'n enkele een van die 5 rondes tot dusver gewen nie. Trouwens, ek dink nie eers hy kan aanspraak maak op 'n moontlike gelykopronde nie. Vir Gerrie Coetzee is dit veel beter oefening as sy geveg onlangs teen Fossie Schmidt. En dit sal ook vir hom 'n uitdaging wees om te kyk of hy die eerste man kan raak wat hierdie 33-jarige Amerikaner vir 10 tellingsplanke te stuur. Dus kenmerk van Gerrie se vertoning vanaand, daardie opvolgwerk wanneer hy sy opponent so effens van balans af het, wanneer hy onsuksesvol aanval, dat hy op sy beurt baie vinnig opvolg en daardie voordeel benut. Dan praat Gerrie met hom, hy sê vir hom boks man.
Het is goed om te sien dat Gerrie se houe baie vinnig geslaan word en met baie krag. Hy wissel die houe baie mooi af, hy kyk baie mooi hoe Scott Ledoux beweeg. Hy gebruik die hou boor en dan as die man onder te beweeg, slaan hy op. Dit is 'n opstopper en dit werk elke keer.
Scott Ledoux het daar hard geraas, gekla. En meneer Christodoulou spreek hom aan en sê vir hom, ek is die skeieregter. Ek sal besluit wanneer hy vashou of nie vashou nie. En nou word vir hom gesê dat hy sy opponent se arm kan breek. En daardie greep wat hy daar toegepas het. Gerrie Coetzee heeltemal tevrede om voor te gaan. Nou ja, daar is vooraf bespiegel dat het 'n lelike geveg kan word. En ek moet sê, die tekens wat ons in hierdie ronde sien, dui daarop dat het wel toch die geval kan wees. Dat zal jammer wees, maar het kan gebeuren. Nog zo'n paar secondes voor Andries in ronde nummer 6.
Baie goeie ronde. Gerrie maak nou baie mooi gebruik van die houe wat hy moet slaan. Scott Ledoux lyk vir my 'n bietjie of hy nie die ronde sal uitsien nie. En as hy dit wel doen hierdie keer, glo ek nie die volgende ronde sal hy maak nie.
Second down. Round number 7.
Dit is die 7de ronde. Met ander woorde, daar is 4 wat oorbly. En onmiddellik daar die linkerhand van Gerrie wat baie effectief gebruik word. Op ons stelkaart is hy los aan de voor met punte. En Ledoux met een massa van 103,7 kilogram. Of die luchtdruk om wel aan tas, die zal ons natuurlijk niet weet nie. Maar hij is geensins zo vlugvoetig meer, soos wat hij in de ronde nummer 1 was nie. Gerrie Coetzee het nog geen letsel opgedoen nie. Selfs sy lyf lyk asof hy nou onder die stortblad uitgeklim het. Dezelfde kan niet van Scott Ledoux gesê word nie, want tussen de rondes moest daar hard gewerkt worden om een sny hoog op die neus onder zijn rechteroog en een sny aan zijn linkeroog toe te maken. Dit is die skade wat aangerig is door Gerrie Coetzee in de rondes nummer 3 en 4 vooral. En ek dink daar die linkeroog gaan nou weer bly. 2 van die linkers van Gerrie het hom so ewe weer daar getref. Daar kom die bloed. Dat is een groot skare hier in die Randse stadion om naar hierdie gevecht te kyk. En daar is baie wyshede uit die gehoor uit, wat de mens natuurlijk niet altijd in die microfoon kan herhalen. Weer daar die kop waarmee eerst de voren te beweeg wordt. Andries Stein het reeds gesê hoe gevaarlijk het kan wees. Denk jij doen het doelbewust, Andries?
Want dit is nou alles manier om in die moeilijkheid uit te blijven. Om zo onder die man in te duiken daar zo. Gerrie leek baie beter in hierdie gevecht as in zijn vorige gevechten. Maar daar komt daar die hand weer uit wat die man vastdrukt weer. In plaats om die hand te gebruiken om te slaan.
Ja, ik denk is daarover wat Scott Ledoux in vroeger stadium die gevecht een beetje ontsteld was. Was niet zozeer een vasthouderij niet, maar dat hij wel die linkerhand zo boven die kop drukt. Ik denk dat gebeurt waarschijnlijk instinctief, maar het is een van die gewoontetjes waarvan Gerrie Coetzee waarschijnlijk liefst ontslaan moet raken. Nog net een paar secondes en hierdie 7e ronde oor. En weer een slag. Gerrie Coetzee's ronde. Daar is die klok. Einde van die 7e ronde. Daar blijft 3 rondes oor. En Ledoux een paar toverkunstjes tevoorschijn moet halen. En die heeft vanavond hierdie gevecht wil winnen.
Second down. Round number 8.
De 8e ronde. Gerrie Coetzee ver voor op punten. Dit ligt geen twijfel nie. Ledoux vol stikkende merken, plekken op die gezicht. Hij heeft baie straf reeds verdier. Gerrie Coetzee lijkt nog baie vast. Maar ons moet onthouden dat hierdie vechtende Fransman, dat is zijn eigen betiteling voor hemzelf, Scott Ledoux van Amerika, dat hij nog nooit voor 10 tellings planken toegestuurd is nie. Alhoewel hij daarom al een paar keer met technisch uitklop houden die aftocht moest blazen. Voor Gerrie Coetzee is het ongetwijfeld baie goede oefening. Met die oog op nog een wereldtitelgevecht. Hopelijk nog redelijk, wel niet vroeg verjaar niet, maar een niet die te verre toekomst niet. Die skare skree, doen die opvolgwerk Gerrie, moet nie van kans kry nie. En het lyk vir my Gerrie wil nou opvolg. Maar Ledoux maak het vir hom 'n bietjie moeilik. Dis 'n groot lyf daar wat hom lê. Maar Constantino het sy hande vol om hierdie twee groot kerels uit mekaar uit te kry. Goeie lyfhou geweest van Ledoux daarie. Gerrie het die arm so 'n bietjie hoog opgetel. Daar kom hy weer met daai lyfhou.
Dit is natuurlijk een van Scott Ledoux' sterkpunten, relatief om een goede lijfhouwer te slaan. Maar hij is bezig om vreselijke pak slaag te ontvangen op hierdie stadium. En dat hij taai is gewis. Hij van die beste wat hij kan uitdelen.
En sy mondskerm, die van Ledoux, is daarmee heen. Gerrie het uit sy mond uitgeslaan. Een half minuut se bokstyd oor. Dit is ronde nommer 8. En Gerrie Coetzee, dink ek, stel nou baie belang in uitklop hou. Hy sal graag sy kritici se monde wil snoer. Die wat sê dat hy nie die afrondingswerk kan doen nie. Nog net op daar is 'n geweldige regter geweest. En hy moes het opgevolg het, mens kan hem amper nie glo nie. Net een uitkie sy nodig geweest het. En ek dink, net 'n sekonde voor die klok sou lei, gaan ons dalk die uitklop wou sien. Gaan dit die eerste keer wees? Ja! Scott Ledoux word die eerste keer in sy lang loopbaan uitgeslaan. Gerrie Coetzee is die man wat het vermag. En hy het dit op meesterlike wyse gedoen. En ek dink net voor ons terugskakel nog so 'n laaste woordjie van Andries Steyn.
Ja, dit was natuurlijk een baie goede rechter geweest wat die afronding gedoen het daar zo. En Gerrie het die eerste maal baie mooi opgevolgd toe hy die man in die moeilijkheid gehad het. En dit was die einde van die gevecht.
Die einde van die gevecht in die heel laaste secondes van ronde nommer 8. Gerrie Coetzee wat die uitklophou plant en doen wat geen ander man nog aan Scott Ledoux kon gedoen het nie. Hy wen dan met uitklophou en ons groet van die Ronse stadion en skakel terug na die atelier. Memphis, Tennessee.
Sun City's WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World over 15 pounds. On my right, wearing orange and blue South Africa, the heavyweight champion of the world, Gerrie Coetzee. And in the opposite corner, wearing white, red and blue trunks, at 107.3 kilograms, from the United States of America, the challenger, Gerrie Coetzee. Your referee, Mr. Rodrigo Venezuela. Your judges from Panama, Mr. Marco Torres. And from Puerto Rico, Mr. Cesar Romez. And your timekeepers are Mr. Lucky Schwartz and Mr. Brown Okonkwo.
The formalities are over. The referee, Mr. Rodriguez of Venezuela, calls the boxers and their seconds to the middle of the ring. And we'll have action any moment now in this WBA World Heavyweight title fight. Gerrie Coetzee looking very, very eager indeed to get proceedings underway. There's the gong for round number 1.
There's Greg Page who scores the first punch. Follows with a very flicking, useful jab. Very useful jab, but no power behind it.
Gerrie Coetzee talking to Page already.
First punch from Coetzee is not a clean punch at all. It's clubbing right behind the head, and referee Rodriguez wants him for that. Oh, now you'll see Coetzee beating Page with the left jab. And a solid jab it was too. And again, immediately throwing Page off of his stride, out of his rhythm, as the men begin to mix it right down round one. Trading blow for blow.
Some very good punches that were landed there by Gerrie Coetzee. Those hurt Page, although he tried to pretend that they didn't. And now some lovely left and right hands that went in there from Gerrie Coetzee. This is a stupendous opening round for Coetzee.
Well, Page has felt the power of Coetzee's punch. I don't think he likes it. Certainly broke his rhythm there for a while. He's coming forward now and missing. Coetzee setting himself for solid punching. Throws a jab, crosses with the right. Good combinations from Coetzee.
A right hand and a beautiful left hook that landed on Page's jaw there when he was up against the ropes, but he's fighting back. The giant of a man is the challenger, Greg Page.
Very little movement from Coetzee. He's standing still almost. Prepare to trade blow for blow.
1 minute to go in the first round of the fight.
Page working very usefully with that left hand. Coetzee unable to tie Page up on the inside. Well, we're going to the end of this round. Coetzee's jab is falling short. It's been a good round for him.
Still Gerrie Coetzee talks to the challenger. Very busy little referee is Mr. Isidro Rodriguez. Does a lot of talking himself in the ring.
Into round one. Good round for Gerrie Coetzee.
Microphones will sneak in to the corners.
Up and down with the jab. Let the jab go down. You see how he's bending over? That's why your right hand goes up. Sit up. Okay? Okay, stretch him out. Stretch your leg out. All right. Now, you're good the first round, right? When you slip the right hand, I want you to come back quicker. You're coming back too slow. That's why you're missing it, right?
Let's take a look at some of the slow-mo action from that first round.
Can't punch it off. I want you to
See that thudding right hook that went in there from Gerrie Coetzee.
use your head. Use your jab. Okay?
Now this had the effect of breaking Page's rhythm because he started quite smartly in round one. And in opening seconds, he looked pretty good. But those solid punches broke his rhythm, forced him onto the back foot.
So a good start for the champion, Gerrie Coetzee. And the bell goes, and there are still seconds in Coetzee's ring, and Page thought he'd seize his chance, and he came flying across the ring and tore into Gerrie Coetzee there. The referee couldn't stop him. Now he does push them apart.
Well, Page was in his right. He had every right to do that. But Coetzee didn't like it. Put him completely unawares. And referee Rodriguez puts Gerrie Coetzee's mouthpiece in.
It seems as though he came out eventually without it in his mouth. These seconds were slow in getting it into his mouth, unless it flew out of his mouth in that opening flurry of blows.
Well, you can virtually read Gerrie Coetzee's mind, and I'd say he's saying to himself, I'm going to make you pay for that, Mr. Page. Look at him cut loose. And he's talking to Page, speaking to Page all the time. Oh. vicious left hook from Gerrie Coetzee. As Page holding on. Good jab from Coetzee.
Frantic calls coming from Coetzee's corner, from Jackie McCoy to jab him. But Coetzee's quite happy to throw everything at him.
Coetzee's a little wild at the moment. I think he's upset by what happened in the opening seconds of this round. You need to cool down. Best way to win a fight is with a cool head.
1 minute to go in round 2. And the challenger roughing Coetzee up a little bit there.
Well, you can see how quick Coetzee's reflexes are. Doubled up on the left hook, to the body, to the head. That was a glancing right hand to Page's jaw.
Both scored with good punches there.
That's the end of round 2. Good round. Here we are in Page's corner.
I want you to have that jab moving more. You can't keep up with your jab, bro. Move to your right, then your right hand will be right there waiting on you, okay? Keep your jab. Keep your jab. You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Telling Greg Page to use his jab more.
Hard puncher. You see, you can't punch, right? Bucket. Walk in the room over there. You see, you can't punch, right? Yep.
Let's look again at the incident that started the round. You see the seconds still in Coetzee's corner, and Page, when the gong went, quite rightly came screaming across the ring and tore into Gerrie Coetzee, and Coetzee a little disturbed by that, but he did quite well to eventually get out of that mess.
Coetzee's seconds are leaving the ring much too slow.
Into round 3.
Referee Rodriguez screamed at the Coetzee corner to get out of there. Good combination. Good exchange. Another. And look at Page come back. And it's Coetzee who is forced to hold.
Both men have 18 knockouts to their credit. Coetzee in 33 fights and the challenger Page in 26.
Coetzee is fighting almost flat-footed. Very little movement from the champion.
Come on. Come on, babe. Come on, babe.
Terribly waits for Page to come in. He tries to counter.
Come on, babe. Come on, babe.
Page getting the better of those exchanges on the inside. Coetzee has never been noted as an infighter.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about that, Gerrie. You didn't stay in the gym long enough.
Non-stop commentary coming from Jakes Norton in the Page corner.
You're down 2 rounds, Gerrie. Time out there. Come on, babe. Come on, come on, come on. He can't jab with you, Gerrie. He can't jab with you.
Coetzee's jab is falling short. Good right from Page. Coetzee came right back with a right hand of his own. Look how Page slips those punches. He's very skillful, particularly for a big man. He's both. He walks away. That's the old Jersey Joe Walker trick. Oh. Coetzee's lost his gum shield. Page kicks it out the ring. Coetzee telegraphed that right hand. You could see he's coming from Wales. You can't do that against Coetzee. What a good left hook that was. And a good blow to the body.
Bit of clowning there from Greg Page, just trying to cover up the fact that he was hurt, and that must have really hurt him, that left hook. That was an absolute beauty that landed there from Gerrie Coetzee.
Well, this is almost a replay of the Weaver-Coetzee fight with him falling on the ropes. Coetzee missing badly with that right hand.
Makes a good left hook too as they came away from each other there.
Coetzee really needs to box from behind the left jab. He should not lead with the right hand.
So 3 rounds gone in this World Heavyweight title fight. Coming to you live from the Super Bowl.
With your right hand, you should let over. You move over. Don't stay there. Stay there. Move over.
Laat een beetje dadelijk, je denkt de mukken zijn boven, dat zal ik in trekken.
Pick this guy apart. Go under those shots. Watch for your shots.
Coetzee is starting off in that action replay with a couple of good punches. Missing badly there. And that's a tremendous left hook that went in there. Roundhouse that caught him flush on the side of the jaw.
Round 4 coming up. And this time it's Page who's a bit slow to come out of his corner. Coetzee beats Page to the jab. But we've seen little movement from Coetzee. Standing flat-footed. Well, I suspect that Coetzee's corner has told him to box from behind the jab because that's what we're seeing right now. So he's trying to clown, wind up with the right hand, and he caught Coetzee with a right to the head.
Suddenly the action has slowed a little bit in this 4th round.
Coetzee caught Page on the elbow with that right hand punch. That's a good combination from Page. You'll notice that Page is working mostly on the inside. Coetzee relying almost entirely on the jab at the moment. Direct contrast into what he was doing in round number 3, where he was going right hand crazy almost. Looking out the left jab. Not much power in that left hand. Good body shot that.
One minute to go in the 4th round.
We haven't seen the rhythm from Coetzee that we saw in the fight against Stokes in Cleveland. Seems to be fighting in spasms, a little bit ragged. And very little movement. Oh, that was a good one. But Page shakes his head. That didn't hurt, he says. Get the message.
For a big man, he certainly has been able to slip some of Coetzee's punches rather well, as he does there, and make him look just a little bit on the wild side.
Coetzee is throwing the right hand as a lead, and he shouldn't be doing that. He should be working from behind the jab. Page is far too good a boxer to fall for that trick. Into round 4.
Man who fights out of Phoenix, Arizona is Greg Page, and so many people have compared him to Muhammad Ali, but his results don't bear that out.
He doesn't like to be compared to Muhammad Ali, even though he was born in the same town, went to the same school and sparred with Ali. as a youngster.
With a smile. Beat him with a smile. Beat him with a smile. No, you beat him with a punch. I want to see you laugh, Larry. Say jerk. Every time you stuff him all the time, you say jerk to him. Talk to him. You bust his mind. I got him looking at me. He fight me. He fight more.
Little what?
Lower, very low. Get a little smaller. He's with the
I got cramps in my car, so what reason?
So that's my nose.
Maar ik lekker kalm. Wacht hem lekker kalm.
See a little bit of a swelling under that left eye of his.
Indeed. And as you heard from Page's corner, they want to use a bit of psychology. Beating with a smile, says Janks Morton. Good retaliation from Page. Coetzee standing flat-footed. Now he switched to southpaw. Still leading with that right hand. That's not the smartest thing to do. Useful combinations from Page, but didn't quite get through those gloves. Well, you'll notice that Page is slowed down perceptibly. That's a good right hand from Gerrie Coetzee. That's all part of the ploy, all part of psychology. Page shakes his head to say that didn't hurt. Even if it does, even if it did. Janks Morton has warned him not to let Coetzee know what his true feelings are. Coetzee's timing a little bit ragged here in round number 5.
Jackie McCoy shouting from Coetzee's corner, cut loose, Kelly.
Well, Page led with the right hand and scored. Oh, couple of very good left hooks from Page. Coetzee missing badly. Page, a very elusive heavyweight. Noted for his skill.
Just 20 seconds to go in round 5.
Again, Coetzee beaten to the punch by Page. That's a useful jab. Another. And another. And it's Page's round. Yes, by far.
Don't leave a hand out, okay? Bring it back fast.
That's the scene for 7,500 people packed into this venue.
Well, yeah, you can see Coetzee jabbing, measuring Page, not quite connecting. That was a useful right hand, but Page was backing off. So Page to the ropes. Coetzee's timing not quite as good as it was in round 1. Here's some more action replay from round 5. Page catching Coetzee with a good left hook. Another. That was by far Page's best round of the fight.
Round 6. Quiet to start for both boxers, and then suddenly Page does cut loose. It's here missing a great deal.
Coetzee's timing appears to be off. But he's persisting with that right hand lead.
He walked into a good left hand lead there.
Page wiggling his shoulders.
The contempt there from the challenger. So here's the sort of person that can make you pay for that, though.
Well, you know that smile, that's Janks Morton's strategy. He says, beat him with a smile. So every time Coetzee really wallops him with a right hand, he smiles.
Put it down. Put it down.
Oh, that was a useful jab.
You saw the clowning there from Greg Page, making as though his legs were about to buckle. Mocking Gerrie Coetzee, but there's no doubt about it, that punch hurt.
Well, this is round 6. This is the round in which Coetzee predicted he would knock out the challenger.
It's also the one in which the local witch doctor here at Sun City indicated that Gerrie Coetzee would win.
That right hand hurt Page.
Coetzee senses it too. And that left hand got in there too. Page fights back off the ropes. Gerrie Coetzee trying to pick his opening. Got one through there while Page was still busy clowning.
Well, the champion has once again taken the play away from Page. After a very bad round 5, it's a much better round 6. You're missing him badly with those other hand shots. The timing simply isn't there. Oh, good right hand from Page. And a left hook. And a right. Coetzee is staggered.
That hurt Coetzee. And another one that hurt Coetzee there as he's pinned against the ropes, and a left uppercut that went in and a right uppercut. And it's now Coetzee who's got to hold on. Suddenly, the fight has swung in the closing stage of the round. The bell is gone and Page is still firing there. And Coetzee goes down on his knees. There were a couple of punches that went in there after the bell had gone.
Well, referee Rodriguez warned Page for that, but he wouldn't disqualify him. And there's no question that Coetzee was badly hurt towards the end of that round.
You feel those wild punches getting hit with
into his corner. I can see my eyes are a little bit on the glazed side.
Pick your spots. Don't go with long, wild punches.
Good right hand there.
Keep that chin down.
Page really on the advance here. And another thudding right that went in there from Page. Back of the head. And certainly it was the challenger who finished strongest.
Well, not a good round for Greg Page.
Now we will know what effect that flurry of punches after the bell will have had on Coetzee, and saw him drop down to the knee. We're in round 7.
Page is scoring freely with that right. Coetzee's in trouble.
Coetzee is down. Gerrie Coetzee in trouble. And the count. Will Coetzee get up? He is up indeed. And now he will really have to be on his guard. The heavy man Page begins to move in. Is this the end of the South African's title? He's fighting back bravely. Wild swinging punches from Page. Coetzee working to the body. And a tremendous right hook there from Gerrie Coetzee. And suddenly the tables have turned as they slug it out. The crowd on their feet. 2 minutes still to go in this round, and it's torrid out there.
Coetzee's fighting for dear life, fighting for survival. Some of those punches that he threw in that flurry have hurt Page, because you can notice Page is not throwing anymore. Page's corner urging him to go in. but he's not going in. Clear indication that he too has been hurt in that exchange. Now it's Coetzee's turn to pile on the pressure. And Page invites him inside.
He's in trouble. He's in trouble on the ropes there. Coetzee is piling in the punches. Another right and another right. That's the feared right hand of Gerrie Coetzee. He's got Page in trouble in his own corner. Can he finish him off? But he too is tired from throwing all those punches, but there's still a minute to go in the 7th round. Both men wary now. Been a furious round, and it's now the challenger that comes back, and both of them in a fucking right hand that went in. That really hurt Greg Page. Coetzee just needs to back off and be able to pick one more good punch like that, and Page could be in trouble.
But Coetzee simply cannot find the punch to put Page down. Page with a bit of bounce in his legs, backs off.
Coetzee looks quite exhausted. Still 20 seconds to go in the round, but neither man is eager to do anything about it. They've had enough for this one.
There appears to be little power left in Coetzee's punches. End of round number 7. Fantastically exciting round, with the action swinging both ways, this way and then that.
It's not all water, there's plenty of sweat that's pouring out of the challenger, Greg Page.
Well, for a moment there, it looked as though he had the title within his grasp, and he has some action replay. Look at that left hook, shaking Coetzee, and the right hand. And another. Coetzee going down from
one that hit him on the temple there, I think, Bert.
Indeed. Another replay. Coetzee missing badly. There's an overhead shot.
That was that good right hand towards the end of the round that really had Greg Page in trouble. Let's see what action we've got in round 8.
Round 8.
Both men exhausted after the furious exchanges of that last round. And both seem intent on taking a bit of a breather in the early stages of this 8th round.
Coetzee getting a little bounce in his legs. He fought most of this fight so far flat-footed. No one's thrown any punches, and it's almost a minute gone. Obviously, the action from round 7 has taken a lot out of both men. Good right hand from Coetzee. Sent the spray flying. Coetzee still mistiming that right hand.
The smile that Jakes Morton demands from his fighter has gone. He's too exhausted to even think of that.
Well, Coetzee fought his way out of trouble in round 7 on sheer guts alone. Really showed the class of a champion there. Lots of courage. This looks as though it's going to be a very quiet round, and understandably so, after all the action in round 7. And resorting to the jab, conserving their energy.
Just to remind you that South Africa has a new world champion in Pitt Krause, who tonight beat Ozzy Ocasio on points to win the world cruiserweight title. but Gerrie Coetzee having a much more difficult time in retaining his world heavyweight title.
We've got Coetzee behind on points at this stage of the fight on our card. An untidy fight at this stage. Both men too wary to put combinations together. Flicking out the jab, leading with the right hand occasionally, and missing badly as Coetzee did there. That was much better. Left hook, come uppercut. That right bounced off the top of Page's head.
Using his greater reach to good advantage there, but that was a good right hook from Gerrie Coetzee.
Coetzee's outboxing Page in this round. And you can see as the men begin to get back their strength that the punch rate is picking up. Oh, good right hand from Page, and Coetzee's legs buckled a little. I think he's in trouble. Hey, down!
That was a left hook that has put Gerrie Coetzee right on his back. And I don't know whether the South African is going to be getting up. They're taking out his gum guard. It's all over. Gerrie Coetzee is out. Gerrie Coetzee has lost this world title fight. And Greg Page is the new WBA champion.
Well, there's your new heavyweight champion of the world, Greg Page. And Gerrie Coetzee is still flat on his back on the canvas, being attended to by his seconds. That was a real devastating knockout. He was aware, he was punch-free wary. And of course Page came with that devastating barrage of punches. Left, finishing with a right. And Page is overjoyed in the ring. And who can blame him? There's a replay. Right hand to the head. Shook Coetzee. As Coetzee tries to back away, Page follows. Left hook. Right cross. Left hook. Another right. Coetzee's beginning to go down. It was a left hook, the final punch that put him on his back. Flat out for the count. There's some more. Left hook from Coetzee. Page throwing the punches. Time. The knockout was 3 minutes 50 seconds. According to our time, the knockout came in 3 minutes 50 seconds. The round's only supposed to be three minutes. That's bound to bring a lot of controversy into this fight. Well, that could result in some kind of a protest. Once the Coetzee can't become aware of the fact the round went 3 minutes 50 seconds. According to our time here at ringside on the stopwatch. There were no stoppages. Here's more replay of that knockout. Right hands, left hooks. Coetzee beginning to fall. Down he goes, flat on his back. There was never a chance that he could beat the count.
During the fight, I would let it go to James Martin. He brought it all out of him.
Did he hurt you at any stage?
No. He caught me out of balance a couple times. That's about it. He's not one of those good punches everybody say he is. He's a great fighter.
And the punch that ended it all?
It was a right hand left hook.
Followed by? Well, understandably an absolutely delighted champion who is receiving the accolades of this huge crowd.
Well, we're now waiting for the official announcement. We know the result, of course, but it's got to be done officially. And according to our stopwatch at ringside at the fight, the round could have gone more than 3 minutes. That's going to be interesting to find exactly what the official time is. And one, we hope they're going to announce the official time of the knockout from the ring. That's no question about it. Greg Page was getting ahead in this fight. He was right on top. He was hurting Coetzee. According to the official timekeeper, I believe that he says the knockdown happened at 2 minutes 55 seconds of the round. And of course, according to the rules of boxing, you can't be saved by the bell except in the final round. So that would be right. That would explain why the round went more than 3 minutes.
The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world by a knockout in the
Und ansonsten ist es nur noch zweitrangig Boxen.
Latest development in the muddled picture in the heavyweight ranks. 3 weeks ago in South Africa, it was Gerrie Coetzee defending his WBA heavyweight title, going up against Greg Page in what turned out to be the most controversial bout of the year.
So a good start for the champion.
This strange fight that began in bizarre fashion. Check this out. In round 2, Coetzee was very slow in coming out of his corner. Greg Page taking advantage, and then they tie it up along the ropes.
Now he does push them apart.
Oh, good right hand from Page.
On to round 6. Page staggers Coetzee. Now the bell will sound.
One that hurt Coetzee there.
Here it comes.
Against the ropes and a left uppercut that went
And you'll see late shots by Page.
Coetzee who's got to hold on.
At this point, Coetzee just holding on as the 6th round is coming to a close. There's the bell. Late shots by Page. And Coetzee goes down to his knees. Now, let's move ahead to that confusing 8th round, a round that went 4 minutes, this time by the timekeeper, Phil Swart. We'll pick up the call of Trevor Quirk and Bert.
Are professionals, and Matthew and Davey are world ranked. Today, it's unbeaten Matthew in the limelight against 3-time world champion Wilfred Benitez. And like his brothers, this young Canadian slugger is used to attention.
When we was in school, we was like the kids admired us, because ever since we've been boxing since we were young, and it was always 4 or 5 brothers. They thought that was very remarkable, all 5 brothers boxing.
You might say the Hiltons were born to box. The sport is in their blood. Father Davey Sr. was a former pro, but never a champion. Now his hopes rest with his sons.
I have one sister, and she's the oldest, and when she was first born, before she was even born, my father had the little gloves on already, and when we found out it was a girl, he was often discouraged.
I was in a household full of boys, and I was very involved in boxing because I had their father who was in boxing before.
And on the eve of his biggest bout, Matthew Hilton counts on his brothers for support.
My brothers are the greatest to me. We're all for one and one for all.
Hilton, what do you expect from him?
Well, Tim, strangely enough, he likes to fight fighters that put their back to the ropes. I think this is one time that Wilfred better stay off those ropes. This kid throws ripping punches, and he's very strong.
Well, Matthew Hilton knows one thing for sure. Of the more than 5,000 fans in attendance here today, I don't think there are more than a couple who will be cheering for Wilfred Benitez. And here comes Matthew Hilton now, 19-0, ranked number 4 in the world, 15 knockouts, but just 20 years of age. He's in against an experienced veteran, 27-year-old Wilfred Benitez, who's been in with some of the big names in the game and has won 3 world championships, so that is an edge for Benitez. But we talked with Matthew Hilton during the week, and he was very confident that he's ready to beat Benitez and move on to a world championship try. Listen to this crowd welcome their hero. This important 10-round super welterweight bout live from Montreal after this word and a word from your local stations.
Welcome to the Pulse Arena in Montreal, Canada. Mesdames, Messieurs, bienvenue au centre sportif Paul Sauvé à Montréal, Canada. Our main event this afternoon is a 10-round super welterweight bout. Le combat principal cet après-midi est un 10 rounds chez les super mi-moyens. Today's referee is Guy Jutras. Aujourd'hui, l'arbitre est M. Guy Jutras. In the red corner, fighting out of Puerto Rico, weighing 152 pounds and a half, with a record of 48 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, and 30 knockouts. The former holder of 3 world titles, Wilfred Benitez. Dans le coin rouge de Puerto Rico, pesant 152 livres et demi. Représentant avec une fiche de 48 victoires, 4 défaites, 1 nulle, 30 mises hors de combat, l'ancien détenteur de 3 championnats mondiaux, Wilfred Benitez. Et dans le coin bleu de Montréal, Canada, in the blue corner from Montreal, Canada, weighing 154 livres et demi, une fiche de 19 victoires, aucune défaite, 15 knockouts, weighing 154 and a half, with a record of 19 wins, no losses, and 15 knockouts. Matthew Hilton! Matthew Hilton!
Well, there was the welcome expected here by the crowd greeting Matthew Hilton. Wilfred Benitez, as he has looked all week and always does, very stoic, very calm. He's had so much experience and has been in lots of locales where they've cheered for the hometown guy. And Gil, I guess that's always a question. How much will it help Matthew Hilton to have this crowd behind him? How much will an experienced man like Benitez be bothered, if at all?
Well, a fiery type kid like Matthew Hilton, it certainly will help a great deal, Tim. And I don't think it can help Wilfred Benitez at all.
Matthew Hilton came in at 154 and a half. Wilfred Benitez at 152 and a half. Remember, Benitez started his career winning his first title at 152 and a half. Remember, Benitez started his career winning his first title at 140 pounds. He fought up as a middleweight, lost to Mustafa Hamsho there in an elimination for a title. Came back down to 154. And this would appear to be a comfortable weight for him, but Matthew Hilton is physically the bigger and stronger of the two boxers. And what you're seeing right now, I think, is what you can probably expect. The youngster will try to cut the ring off. It's only a 16.5-foot ring. That's also an advantage for Hilton here in his hometown against the speedier and kind of a boxer who likes to counterpunch and move like Benitez. Scoring on the 10-point must system in the province of Quebec. Judges all from Montreal. Jean Lapointe, Lise Lavallée, and Jean-Claude Theroux. And the referee is Guy Jutras.
Tim, I'm waiting for Matthew Hilton to land a big punch just to see how Benitez reacts.
Watching these fighters train, it was evident that they were both in superb condition. Reflexes must be a question about Benitez, as he has been somewhat more inactive. He is older. He's been through some wars. Hilton, on the other hand, young, fresh, and strong with just 19 fights. But he hasn't been in with anybody near the skills of Benitez.
Tim, you mentioned Benitez's reflexes. With his style, he has to depend on his reflexes because he always has been a marvelous defensive fighter.
Well, there's where Hilton wants to find Benitez, and Benitez will fight often from the corner and from the ropes, looking to counterpunch, but he didn't throw a punch in that last exchange. You saw Hilton just lose his balance. There's a body shot, and that dropped Benitez. He gets up with disgust, but he was dropped with a hard right to the body by Matthew Hilton here in round one.
Tim, when Benitez loses, it's usually early. He went into it more.
He hasn't thrown a punch here, Gil.
Well, then the kid is overwhelming him right now. Benitez likes to stay on the ropes, but as I said earlier, he better get off the ropes with this kid.
Hilton keeping the pressure on. This is his style. He just walks in, cuts the ring off, and throws heavy leather.
And Tim, it's Benitez style to fight off the ropes.
But usually to throw something back. We haven't seen that. Now out in the middle of the ring. Benitez apparently has survived this early onslaught into the under 30-second mark we go. Has been down once from a body shot.
He knows now that Matthew Hilton is a heavy puncher, Tim. Kid carries bricks in his hands.
Big left hook to the body by Hilton. That's his best punch. Final seconds of round one scheduled for 10.
Right hand on the chin by Hilton.
Tim Ryan with Gerrie Coetzee. Matthew Hilton in the tartan trunks and the hometown crowd behind him. Had the three-time world champion Benitez down with a body shot in round one. Benitez in gold, a Puerto Rico flag on his belt.
Tim, Benitez is going to have to land a couple of punches to make Matthew Hilton respect him. Look at the way the kid could set to throw that hook to the body. Has all day.
Benitez still backing up and looking to counter. At least on this occasion, he's throwing some punches.
And Tim, so far, he has stayed off the ropes this round.
Hilton cutting off the ring, backs him to the corner again, and he moved him with a body shot.
Tim, Benitez calls himself the Bible of boxing. It looks like this kid has read the Bible.
So far, Hilton planning to keep pressure on the veteran. What a heavy-handed young man he is. He and his brother Davey, both world ranked. Davey Jr. as a welterweight in the top 10. His younger brother Stuart on the card today in a 4-round 135-pound bout. He looks like a great prospect. Brother Alex, also a pro, former Canadian middleweight champion, considered an up-and-coming professional at the age of 21. Right now, Matthew getting a chance to perhaps move on to a world championship try. Under a minute to go in round number 2 of the scheduled 10-rounder.
Tim, I want to see what happens to Matthew Hilton now. Benitez nails him with a good shot. Benitez doing a lot better this round.
Benitez's last fight, August of '85, he went 10 rounds and won a decision over Kevin Moley. Got off the floor in round 1 of that fight, I believe he was down.
Yes, he was. And as I said, he's a slow start.
Oh, there's another tremendous body shot.
Well, Tim, Benitez is in great shape physically, though, Tim.
Hilton pounding away on him. Matthew Hilton with wins over Nino Gonzalez, Francisco de Jesus, and Vito Antuofermo. But of course, Antuofermo really over the hill when he came up here to fight Matthew Hilton. He was attempting a comeback at the time, and he was overwhelmed by Matthew Hilton. Final seconds, round 2. Wilfred Benitez comes out quickly this round, landed an overhand right. And now left underneath, so Benitez rallying somewhat here in the 3rd round, but there's that big left hook to the body by Hilton.
That is definitely Matthew Hilton's best punch, that left hook, body or head. He loops his right hand, Tim.
A 9-time National Golden Gloves champion in Canada, pounding Benitez in the corner again. Hilton ranked number 4 by the WBC, number 5 by the WBA at this weight, 154 pounds. Benitez, the 8th rank in the WBC ratings. Hilton with an overhand right behind that left of the body.
The referee has warned Matthew Hilton twice now to keep his punches up. Next time, I think he'll take a point away.
Referee is Guy Jutra, a very respected referee in world circles. He is a native here in Montreal. short chopping right by Hilton. Left to the body and then to the head. We're in round 3, scheduled for 10.
Tim, I think if Benitez tried moving to his right, he'd take that left hook away from Matthew Hilton. I mean, the kid really gets sets to wing it. You have time to move away from it.
More than 5,000 on hand here at the Paul Sauvé Arena, out very near the Olympic site. Indeed, as we said at the top of the program, the preliminaries in the 76 Olympic boxing were held right here. Under a minute to go, round 3.
A couple of good left hooks by Benitez. And Tim, Matthew Hilton's mouth is wide open and he's breathing very, very heavily.
Well, he used up a lot in that first round. Left hook, wobble.
There was the left hook, Tim.
Yep.
That's the big punch.
He brought it up from underneath and he wobbled Benitez. Benitez trying to survive in the corner.
Tim, he has to have some chin to take those 2 shots. Right hand and a left hook right on the button.
Under 30 seconds we go. In the third round, Hilton continuing to bang to the body now.
Matthew, okay, watch this now. That's the last time now, okay?
And a warning you could hear from Guy Jutra, using Matthew's first name. Final seconds, round 3.
Stop it, stop it.
Number 4, scheduled for 10, Matthew Hilton on the left of your screen in the tartan trunks. 3-time world champion Wilfred Benitez in gold, and moved again by that left to the body from Hilton. Benitez was down in round 1 from a body shot, and he has been wobbled 2 or 3 times since then. Tim Ryan with Gil Clancy live from the Paul Sauvé Arena in Montreal.
Benitez is allowing Matthew
punching,
Hilton to take too many free shots, Tim. He sets and he wings and he bangs, and Hilton, Benitez does not punch back. Has to show a little more offense.
We're in round 4, scheduled for 10.
The right hand of Matthew Hilton is just used to set up the left hook.
And yet he's a right-handed fighter, so it's an interesting, not so much concept, but an interesting practice that works for Matthew Hilton. I'm sure that with the years that will follow as a 20-year-old, that he may develop that right hand. Could be as formidable a weapon as the left.
He must have studied a lot of movies of Mexican fighters, Tim, because that's that typical Mexican left hook to the liver.
Reminds me somewhat, too, of Barry McGuigan. The young Irish featherweight who's got that devastating left to the body. Watch it.
Benitez still looks in very good condition, though, Tim.
Yes, he does. I think any doubts that he was just going to show up here today have been dispelled, because even though, as we see it, Hilton is winning the fight rather handily, Benitez is certainly very much in it, giving it his top effort. Under a minute to go. He has an opportunity at a 4th world title shot if he can win here today. Like Alexis Arguello, he wants that badly. For Benitez, it would be 140, 147, 154. Left hook to the ear. Backed up Benitez again. If he were to win another crown, it would be at this weight. He defeated Maurice Hope.
Tim, the first time in the fight that Matthew Hilton backed up at all.
1981, that was when Benitez won the WBC super welterweight crown for Maurice Hope. There's a right hand by Hilton that landed. Coming to the end of round number 4 with Hilton pounding away and backing up Benitez. Number 5, Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy live from Montreal. Wilfred Benitez on the left in the gold trunks. He will have to rally here as we are now approaching the halfway mark in a scheduled 10-rounder. Matthew Hilton in the tartan trunks has had the best of it.
Benitez has to find a way, Tim, to tie up that left hook. Everything is left hook.
Most observers of Matthew Hilton say that he's really come a long way in his last 2 or 3 fights with his defense. And he's a much better boxer, and he's much more sound defensively. He was always a slugger, and there he landed that hook again.
And what Benitez is doing, he's slapping a jab out there, and the perfect counter for a jab is a good left hook. I think he should throw that right hand lead more often, move to his right, try something a little different, because he certainly isn't getting results this way. There's the right hand lead. That's a little better. He didn't get countered.
Another solid body shot. Wobble Benitez again. Now he just landed a little uppercut counter, but not much on it. And Hilton stays right there. Wilfred's wife Elizabeth here as his manager, watching from ringside.
Benitez is landing some short punches in there now, though, Tim.
Okay, break, step back. Let's go in the middle of the ring. Come on.
That was his best work in terms of counter-punching off the ropes, that last series. Under a minute to go in round 5.
You can just see Matthew Hilton getting set, though. And Benitez is allowing him to get set.
There's a right hand to the body from Benitez.
Look how long it took Matthew Hilton to get set to throw that hook, and Benitez waited there to get nailed with it.
Okay, let go the arm, Matthew. Let go the arm.
Benitez obviously in great physical condition. There's been much talk in boxing over the years about how, despite his obvious talent, he was never a great trainer. In most cases, he didn't need to. He could show up on a couple of weeks' work and beat most guys. But it's clear that he's prepared well, and we're told he's been working hard physically for about 4 months for this fight.
Okay, hold it.
Low blow by Matthew Hilton. Very low blow.
Gets a warning from Utah. They took a point away. Final seconds of round 5. Number 6. And a low blow by Matthew Hilton cost him a point in the last round, round number 5. He had been warned previously by referee Guy Jutras. And we saw Benitez land a right-hand lead. Matthew Hilton, one of 5 boxing brothers, 4 of them professionals. 14-year-old Jimmy planning also to be a pro. There's a big left hook by Hilton again.
And there it is again, double left hook. Works that left hook overtime.
Right-hand lead scored, but as you point out, Gilly, does not get nearly the snap on his right.
Let go, let go.
He gets points for it, but he didn't do the damage to Benitez that he does with his left.
Well, he uses it to set up that hook, Tim. He hooks beautifully off a right hand. Anytime Benitez just lays that left jab out there, he's in danger of getting knocked cold.
A couple of fights ago, Matthew Hilton. There is Wobble Benitez with a left hook. Hilton trying to finish him, getting a little wild now, but Benitez backed up on the ropes.
Well, there's the radar, Tim. Matthews planted, throwing about 7 punches and missed them all. Now he's nailing them, though. Nailed him again with a right hand.
Benitez now leading on Hilton to hold himself up. Benitez's legs are gone, trying to get some life back in them.
Tim, you don't become 3-time world champion without having courage. And Benitez is certainly showing courage, if not anything else.
We're in the 6th round, just under a minute to go. Benitez punching back here. A game effort, and Hilton maybe a little punched out. Benitez with no snap, but landed some counters inside. Hilton with his arms down at his sides. He's a little arm weary. Benitez still on wobbly legs.
Has no legs at all now, Tim. None.
Another left rips up from Hilton. Hilton is tired. He's tired. He used up a lot. Under the 30-second mark.
Just doesn't have a leg under him, though, Tim.
Okay, let go. go. Let go of the arm. That's it.
Here comes, you can see Matthew setting him up. Here comes the hook, back again.
Coming to the end of round 6, and look at Benitez battling back, but Hilton stays right there.
Get right, step back.
The end of round number 6. Matthew in the limelight here today. Round number 7. Benitez down in round 1 from a body blow. Somehow stayed on his feet in the 6th.
Benitez still looks rocky, Tim. Legs aren't there.
Well, it'll be a question as to how much sting Hilton lost with all of the leather he threw. Let's find out about his conditioning. Ability to bounce back. You pointed out he was breathing heavily early in the fight.
Yes, he was. And he was having everything his own way.
Round 7 scheduled for 10. Benitez threw one with ill intention, a right-hand looper. Hilton caught it on the arm. We are live from the Paul Sauvé Arena in Montreal. Feel the tension in the air. This crowd knows the importance of the fight to their hero, Matthew Hilton.
Tim, I think a lot of them are thinking the way we are. He better not punch himself out. I'm sure they told him that in the corner. Wasting a lot of energy, Tim.
Benitez, who won titles from Cervantes and Palomino and Maurice Hope, beating the likes of Bruce Curry and Harold Weston. Been in there with Hearns and Leonard and Duran. All those years of experience, just 27 years of age, and he's calling on that experience and the heart and the conditioning to stay in here with this youngster from Montreal. Matthew Hilton not nearly as busy. He just, I don't think, has got the strength in his arms to throw as many punches now.
Well, Tim, if he lands one big one, you'll see he'll get that adrenaline back again. He knew he wasted a lot of energy last round. And I guess he figures he's way ahead.
And it may have been some counsel from Dad in the corner that has him slowing his pace a little here. Under a minute to go in the 7th. He's very contained, Matthew Hilton, fighting with a lot of maturity.
Watch it.
Started his career as just a wild slugger, and here's a good circumstance. Don't you agree, Gil, that he's showing poise here?
Timmy's showing poise. Really, the biggest weakness I see is his right hand. He loops his right hand and they're arm punches.
Well, if we gave him a week with you, you'd fix that, wouldn't you?
I'd like to try.
Hilton, along with his dad, has another pal of Gil Clancy's in the corner, Jimmy Ellis, former heavyweight great, helping the entire Hilton family. Final seconds, round 7. Gil Clancy, we are back live. You're looking at the Paul Sauvé Arena, where more than 5,000 fans are enjoying what they're seeing so far, but perhaps a little concern in round 7, as Matthew Hilton either paced himself through the round. Well, I guess that's what he was doing, as he's picking it up here in the 8th. We have him well ahead on the cards. He had a point taken off in round 5 for a low blow after a couple of warnings. Solid left uppercut. Benitez trying to throw punches.
It looked like the referee was going to jump in and stop the fight, and then Benitez just shook his head like he's not hurting me.
I think you're dead right, Gil, and Jutra, in respect for that, pulled away. And indeed, Benitez looks all right. But more points rolled up by Matthew Hilton.
Also more energy expended, Tim. If Benitez is going to do anything in this fight, he has to really mount an offense about now, because the kid is tired.
Well, the question mark I've had about from the time Benitez came up to 154 is, can he really move a natural 154-pounder? I mean, he stopped Maurice Hope when he first came up, but this guy just looks physically so much stronger than Benitez.
I think this guy is physically much stronger than almost any 154-pounder you're going to see, Tim.
And probably headed to the middleweight, would you not think, at age 20?
Yes, in boxing, he's still a baby. Benitez landed a nice combination, Tim, right hand, left hook. But that's exactly, I really think he should lead with that right hand and come back with the left hand instead of the other way around. And it has been working for him. the few times he's tried it.
On our card, he needs a knockout to win this fight. And I would think even Benitez, being as he's fighting in Montreal here, well, Tim feel the same way.
Benitez is very, very strange, Tim. Like, for example, when he fought Tommy Hearns, it wasn't that close a fight. He thought he won it. And he may think that this is a lot closer fight.
Indeed, he may have a totally different impression, but hopefully his corner is telling him otherwise for his sake. There's a good left by Benitez.
Good combination. Two punches to the body, one to the head. Actually, he's landed more in this round than any round in the fight. And Matthew Hilton's mouthpiece almost came out. He's tired, Tim. He's very tired.
Round 8, Hilton looking over to his corner.
I'm sure Benitez knows he's tired too, Tim.
Down to the 22nd mark, scheduled for 10 rounds.
Let go, fight your way out. That's it. Let go, man. That's it.
Coming to the end of the 8th round, and a tired-looking Matthew Hilton, and again he landed a body punch with Benitez off balance. Wilfred Benitez comes out quickly here. He must know that he has to rally and perhaps catch a tiring Matthew Hilton.
Tim, this is the key round for Benitez. He has to really mount a big offense this round because Matthew is tiring, but if he gets through the 9th round, there's no way that Benitez is going to get him out in the 10th round. He can hang on for 3 minutes.
Benitez landed a good solid left hook in the last exchange. One of his best punches of the entire fight. Moved the mouthpiece of Hilton again.
Tim, if you notice now, Benitez is leading with right hands and coming back with the hook, and it is effective.
Round 9, scheduled for 10. A right-hand lead landed by Hilton. Now Hilton backed into the corner. Benitez trying to keep him in there.
Break. Step back. Let's go. Step back.
It's really something to see a heart of a champion, Tim. The way this Benitez is trying so hard now to win this fight.
Let go. Break.
And he's landing some effective punches.
Both fighters scoring in that exchange.
Fight your way out. That's it.
Matthew Hilton, 15 knockouts in 19 fights, so he's only been the distance 4 times.
Good stiff jab by Benitez, Tim. His best jab in the fight. And a good right hand by Benitez.
Good solid right. That stopped Hilton in his tracks.
Here comes the fighting heart of Matthew Hilton now, Tim.
Okay, break, step back.
Woke him up.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
Matthew has only been 10 rounds twice in his pro career.
Tim, is he trying hard? Matthew, he's putting everything he has into every punch.
It's only the 3rd time that he's been into the 9th round. So he is still learning on the job. And what a lesson to be getting from the 3-time world champion Wilfred Benitez.
Again, Benitez led with the right hand, Tim, and landed.
That's been his best work. Under 30 seconds to go. Hilton trying to get the adrenaline flow again. Right hand down. Look at Benitez punch back. Just coming in the ring now. A big left hand was the knockout punch after a right hand had hurt Benitez. He was leaning back over the top strand, trying to avoid the rest of the blows, but a huge left hand, which is the best punch, as we pointed out, from Matthew Hilton, absolutely knocked him out on his feet. He just sagged to the canvas, and the doctor is in the corner of Wilfred Benitez, attending to him now. They have him on the stool, and there is Matthew Hilton. A sensational 9th round knockout after Hilton had been sagging somewhat in rounds 7 and 8. But he put it back together in the 9th and scored a 9th round knockout.
Tim, here we see it in the exchange again. Right hand sets him up. It's that slapping right hand, another slapping right hand. Left hook to the body. And there's that big left hook on the chin, Tim, and that's it.
Jutra in quickly. He saw the look on Benitez's face, jumped right in, made sure another punch wasn't thrown, and then put the count as Benitez sagged to the canvas here in sections. Referee Jutra picked up the count, and Benitez never made it back. But the crowd here at Paul Sauvé enjoying the victory by Matthew Hilton. It's still to come on CBS Sports Saturday. We'll be going to San Francisco with our John Tesh, joining Debbie Thomas with a preview of the World Figure Skating Championships. And we'll be back here live at the Paul Sauvé Arena to talk with the winner, Matthew Hilton, in just a moment. Stay with us. We're back live in a chaotic ring scene at Paul Sauvé Arena, and here is Matthew Hilton. Matthew, I know you must be tremendously excited knocking out a great champion like Wilfred Benitez. It looked like you were tiring after getting a big lead. What did you come up with to come up with a knockout punch?
Well, I was looking for a little knockout happy after knocking him down a couple times in the first early rounds. And then my father, when we got back to the corner, he said, "You're going off your track. I told you to use a jab." And I was trying to left hook. I caught him. And the right hand I was effective with. But then in the last, I think it was the 7th round, my father says, "Try that right hook. You're trying everything and he's ready for it. He's a smart fighter." So I did that and that's what caught him.
Were you getting a little arm weary before that 9th round?
No, because I knew that Benitez was going to try and come on in the later rounds. So my father said, "You better pace yourself. I told you not to go."
Ah, that's what we thought. Right, exactly. We thought Dad might have been telling you to pace yourself there because you had, on our card, a 6-round lead. Let's take a look at that knockout. I'm sure you're going to enjoy seeing it. You actually set it up with a right hand and then landed the big left hook.
Yeah, well, I could see him getting a little weary, and once I seen that look in his eyes, there was no way I was going to let up. So I kept throwing it, and as long as he would stay there, I was going to keep throwing.
Well, we're going to see it from another angle. I'm not sure we'll see the right hand that set it up, but right now he's trying to stay away from you, leaning over the ropes, and there's the big left hand. The left hook is obviously your best punch.
Well, it is, but my father's been working on the right hand, and that's what I was effective in the early rounds. And, well, I was successful. And I just thank Don King Productions and CBS Sports for giving me this opportunity against a great fighter like Wilfred Benitez.
Okay, well, Matthew, congratulations to you. I know American audiences are looking forward to seeing you in action again. Oh. Very exciting young fighter, and perhaps next for you a title shot.
That's my dream, and we're doing it here in Montreal, where there's never been a champion. And me, my father, my brothers, and our work, and Don King, we're on our way.
Okay, congratulations, Matthew Hilton. We do want to report that Wilfred Benitez is all right. He's been attended to by physicians and is leaving the ring at this moment. And we're happy to report that this great champion who fought valiantly against a younger and stronger man in Matthew Hilton is okay. Now, we're going to be coming up from San Francisco with John Tesh and Debbie Thomas and more of a preview.
Turn around for our audience, and may I first of all congratulate you. I don't know, I saw you sleeping in the dressing room prior to the fight. Your father tells me you keep a lot of tension inside you, but you fought just a perfect fight, I thought.
I listened again. I got a little stubborn in the early rounds again. After knocking him out, I got a little anxious for a knockout. So my father, he's his little pep talk in the corner again. So I started listening again, and I was successful, and now my dream's closer than it's ever been. It's my next fight, and thanks to my father and all the support here, I'm on my way, and I'm really anxious for it.
Matthew, the fight, you started with the body punching, you went to the midsection. Was that the game plan, try and bring the arms down?
Yeah, but I gotta admit, he was very tough in the body, and every time I kept coming back to the corner, my father said, forget the head, especially when he goes in the ropes, which we've been training for. But like I said, when I started hitting him with the right hand, I got a little knockout happy again, but then when I got back to the corner, my father said, I told you, never mind the head, go to the body. And then the 7th round, he says, okay, now finish up with a right hook to the head. And that's what I did. I just missed, but I came out with the left hook, and that did it.
All right, let's look at the knockout punch itself. Was a sequence of punches, and as our audience is watching it, tell me a little bit about it. I thought the key to it was perhaps that punch, that left hand to the midsection that caught him just under the rib cage.
That was definitely the whole strategy of my father's plan and my plan. And that's what I was working on, and as you said, it was that was the main the main problem that slowed him down, because his hand did drop in the later rounds, and that's how I was able to catch him.
What about fight plan? You went in saying, I want to go to the midsection. Were there any areas of the Benitez style that concerned you at all?
A little bit. He's very hard to hit, like we respect it. But I did catch him with the right hand, which we've been practice on. It's still not perfect, but we can be sure that my father and I are going to be working on that first thing when we go back to the gym. And hopefully now to get, in order to be a champion, my next fight is a championship, and I got to get all that perfect. So straight back to the gym and work, and hopefully we'll get it here in Montreal.
You got any preference as to which of the champions you want to fight?
It's up to my father, but as far as I'm concerned, any of them.
Always listen to Dad, huh?
That's right.
Okay, Dave, congratulations to you, and it's just a wonderful fight. Thank you very much. Dave, what about it? What's coming up for Matthew now?
Well, I have to wait to talk with Don King and see what they're going to do. You know, who they're going to offer us. We're ready to fight anybody.
Up there.
we're ready to fight anybody. Anyone of the champions. We've been promised a world title shot, so hopefully they're going to give it to us now.
Well, I don't think they can ignore it, can they? They put on such a... I have not seen such an impressive show by a Canadian boxer in years.
Well, I always told everybody that he can punch, and believe me, he can punch, and he proved tonight.
Well, I think so, and he certainly proved it to Benitez. I saw some words being exchanged between Benitez and Matthew right at the end of the fight. What was being said?
I really don't know. They've been going at it for 2 days now, so... But they were, you know, he was a gentleman after the fight, and shook hands with Matthew, and it's all over. They're friends again. So.
Did the father have any concerns himself going into the fight? Looked like you were more worried than Matthew was.
No, I just didn't want him to go fall into his trap, follow him onto the ropes. I wanted him to get to the body, which he did, fire on the body, and that's what happened. You know, bring the hands down.
Best of luck. Your other sons are on the verge as well. Good luck to you in the future.
Appreciate it.
Dave Hilton Sr. And so we have a winner in Matthew Hilton over one of the finest fighters in the world in Wilfred Benitez here at the Paul Sauvé Arena. And we'll be right back with more of the fight wrap-up from Montreal.
In Dublin. Cabrera backing him up again. Every time McGuigan starts to come in with a combination, he can't follow it up. He gets that stiff left. And then he doubles on it. He's able to back McGuigan up, as was the case in round 12. Good right hand there, trying to follow it up. Cabrera bobbing and weaving and circling back to escape further danger. But he takes a good left that time. He walked into the type of left from McGuigan that might have floored him earlier in the fight. But Barry's punches lacking the zip that they had earlier. McGuigan, the crowd again exhorting him, seeking the opening for what in the past have been his lethal combinations, but Cabrera doing a decent job keeping him away, but he does take a pretty good left hand that time, and his mouthpiece nearly came out. Cabrera still trying to fight back, still trying to make a contest of it, which he has certainly done. There's no question about that, but as game as they come, McGuigan trying to keep him against the ropes, but Cabrera able again to back away. That time again he takes a left from McGuigan. McGuigan may not have the power behind those punches that he had earlier, but he's landing very effectively as this 13th round comes to an end. Start now round 14 in Dublin, Ireland. Barry McGuigan at the center of the ring, and now time starts in a wrestling mode. This is the first championship fight in Dublin, Ireland in 63 years. But Muhammad Ali did fight here. It was a non-title confrontation against Al Blue Lewis in 1972. The crowd again rising to the occasion as they sense the end as McGuigan with a left hand puts Cabrera down. First knockdown of the fight. He gets up at the count of 5. Eckert follows him into the corner, looks into his eyes, and this one continues, but I don't think for much longer. Cabrera very wobbly. Cabrera trying to hold on. He's losing his balance, and the end is apparently near in this one. That was a slip. He gets up. Cabrera reaching down, buying more time. The mouthpiece has come out, and now Eckert senses that this one cannot continue. And he stops it in the 14th round as Barry McGuigan has retained his WBA featherweight championship. But it wasn't nearly as easy as anticipated as a game Dominican, Danilo Cabrera, from La Esperanza in the Dominican Republic. Gives McGuigan a pretty good battle tonight at the Simmons Court Pavilion in Dublin, Ireland. So McGuigan on a 14th round technical knockout is the winner here in Dublin, Ireland, and will be returning live right after this.
Of Alexis Arguello as he meets Billy Costello in a battle of former champions. All that and more still ahead on CBS Sports Saturday. Announcing the early meet Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Well, we've got more boxing excitement ahead here on CBS Sports Saturday. We're going to show you a heavyweight bout that took place recently at Wembley Stadium in London with the British heavyweight Frank Bruno against South Africa's Gerrie Coetzee. And then we'll follow that with a reprise of our junior welterweight dramatic bout between Alexis Arguello, the former champion, against another former champ, Bill Costello. Still to come on CBS Sports Saturday. Well, James Bone Crusher Smith put himself right back into the heavyweight picture, and so did a young British boxer by the name of Frank Bruno. Let's watch this fight that took place a couple of weeks ago in England. The hometown favorite here at sold-out Wembley Arena is Frank Bruno from Clapham, England, a suburb of London. He's lost only once in 29 fights against James Bone Crusher Smith, a fight he was leading until Smith stopped him in the final round. His opponent, a former champion, Gerrie Coetzee in the blue trunks from South Africa. And Coetzee looks to be in excellent condition, Gil, and apparently has looked terrific in the gym all week.
Tim, Coetzee was in excellent condition, but what about Frank Bruno? Look at the build on that guy.
Bruno, one of those great bodies that sometimes you wonder whether boxers like Mike Weaver and Bruno are perhaps a little too muscle-bound. One of the things about Bruno in the past, despite all of his wins, is that sometimes he fights a little tight. The referee is Guy Jutra from Canada.
Tim, he never seems to relax, Bruno. That is one of the knocks on him. The other question is he going to be able to take that big right hand of Coetzee's? Because Bone Crusher really hurt him when he knocked him out in the last round of the fight.
Round one scheduled for 12. The crowd beginning an early chant of Bruno, Bruno. He's a very popular boxer in Fight Mad England. Oh, a big right hand. Down goes Coetzee.
Tim set it up with the left hand, dropped the right hand right on the button.
Terrific shot right down the pipe from Frank Bruno. And there is a gash under the left eye of Coetzee. You see Guy Jutra checking his eyes to make sure he's all right. Coetzee starts to come forward, so evidently is all right.
Tim, he was hurt by that right hand. Did you see him wince?
Boy.
He knew he got hit.
And Bruno pressing the advantage. Coetzee now backing up, fighting a little more cautiously.
Bruno still has to be careful of that right hand of Coetzee's, though, Tim. You notice he's not taking the initiative now.
First round knockdown by Bruno, landed another right hand, driving Coetzee into the ropes. And now Coetzee somewhat desperately grabs onto Bruno. Not too many people would have figured this in the first round. And Bruno sends him down again. Into the ropes, Gerrie Coetzee with an overhand right hand.
Tim,
let's go back and look at that first one.
Tim, it was a right hand right on the button, split Coetzee's left cheek, and he really knew he got hit.
Here's a look at the knockout punch. Right hand over the top, through the ropes, and Coetzee unable to get up before the count of 10.
Tim, he hit him right in the temple with that right hand.
Tremendous victory for Frank Bruno. A knockout in the first round, 150 of the first round. A huge upset for Bruno, flattening Coetzee, the former champion. And for Bruno now, the opportunity to go on and meet the WBA champion, Tim Witherspoon, or if he should have his title lifted, it could be somebody else. Frank Bruno, big win. Pretty impressive performance by Frank Bruno, and certainly the Burbicks, the Spinxes, the Tubbs, the Witherspoons, etc. have to be very aware that Bruno, and now today, James Bone Crusher Smith, are very much in the heavyweight title picture. So there's lots of excitement ahead, I'm sure, the next few months in the heavyweight ranks. Well, Alexis Arguello always provides excitement. The hometown favorite here at sold-out Wembley Arena is Frank Bruno from Clapham, England, a suburb of London. He's lost only once in 29 fights against James Bone Crusher Smith, a fight he was leading until Smith stopped him in the final round. His opponent, a former champion, Gerrie Coetzee, in the blue trunks from South Africa. And Coetzee looks to be in excellent condition, Gil, and apparently has looked terrific in the gym all week.
Tim, Coetzee is in excellent condition, but what about Frank Bruno? Look at the build on that guy.
Bruno, one of those great bodies that sometimes you wonder whether boxers like Mike Weaver and Bruno are perhaps a little too muscle-bound. One of the things about Bruno in the past, despite all of his wins, is that sometimes he fights a little tight. The referee is Guy Jutra from Canada.
Tim, he never seems to relax, Bruno. That is one of the knocks on him. The other question is he going to be able to take that big right hand of Coetzee's? Because Bone Crusher really hurt him when he knocked him out in the last round of the fight.
Round one scheduled for 12. The crowd beginning an early chant of Bruno, Bruno. He's a very popular boxer in Fight Mad England. Oh, a big right hand. Down goes Coetzee.
Tim set it up with the left hand, dropped the right hand right on the button.
Terrific shot right down the pipe from Frank Bruno. And there is a gash under the left eye of Coetzee. You see Guy Jutra checking his eyes to make sure he's all right. Coetzee starts to come forward, so evidently is all right.
Tim, he was hurt by that right hand. Did you see him wince?
Boy.
He knew he got hit.
And Bruno pressing the advantage. Coetzee now backing up, fighting a little more cautiously.
Bruno still has to be careful of that right hand of Coetzee's, though, Tim. You notice he's not taking the initiative now.
First round knockdown by Bruno, landed another right hand, driving Coetzee into the ropes. And now Coetzee somewhat desperately grabs onto Bruno. Not too many people would have figured this in the first round. And Bruno sends him down again. Into the ropes, Gerrie Coetzee with an overhand right hand.
Tim,
let's go back and look at that first one.
Tim, it was a right hand right on the button, split Coetzee's left cheek, and he really knew he got hit.
Here's a look at the knockout punch. Right hand over the top, through the ropes, and Coetzee unable to get up before the count of 10.
Tim, he hit him right in the temple with that right hand.
Tremendous victory for Frank Bruno. A knockout in the first round, 150 of the first round. A huge upset for Bruno, flattening Coetzee, the former champion. And for Bruno now, the opportunity to go on and meet the WBA champion, Tim Witherspoon, or if he should have his title lifted, it could be somebody else. Frank Bruno, big win. Pretty impressive performance by Frank Bruno, and certainly the Burbicks, the Spinxes, the Tubbs, the Witherspoons, etc. have to be very aware that Bruno, and now today, James Bone Crusher Smith, are very